There may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must never be a time when we fail to protest. Human suffering anywhere concerns men and women everywhere. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. The opposite of art is not ugliness, it's indifference. The opposite of faith is not heresy, it's indifference. And the opposite of life is not death, it's indifference. Friendship marks a life even more deeply than love. Love risks degenerating into obsession. Friendship is never anything but sharing. To forget the dead would be akin to killing them a second time. We must always take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. For the dead and the living, we must bear witness. One person of integrity can make a difference. When a person doesn't have gratitude, something is missing in his or her humanity. A person can almost be defined by his or her attitude toward gratitude. No human race is superior, no religious faith is inferior. All collective judgments are wrong. Only racists make them. If the only prayer you say throughout your life is thank you, then that will be enough. I pray to the God within me that He will give me the strength to ask Him the right questions. Write only, if you cannot live without writing. Write only what you alone can write. For the survivor who chooses to testify, it is clear, his duty is to bear witness for the dead and for the living. He has no right to deprive future generations of a past that belongs to our collective memory. To forget would be not only dangerous, but offensive. To forget the dead would be akin to killing them a second time. For in the end, it is all about memory, its sources and its magnitude, and, of course, its consequences. I swore never to be silent whenever and wherever human beings endure suffering and humiliation. We must always take sides. I swore never to be silent whenever and wherever human beings endure suffering and humiliation. We must take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. Only the guilty are guilty. Their children are not. I shall always remember that smile. From what world did it come from? Which is worse, killing with hate or killing without hate? Think higher, feel deeper. One more stab to the heart, one more reason to hate, one less reason to live. We must not see any person as an abstraction. Instead, we must see in every person a universe with its own secrets, with its own treasures, with its own sources of anguish, and with some measure of triumph. His cold eyes stared at me. At last, he said wearily, I have more faith in Hitler than in anyone else. He alone has kept his promises, all his promises, to the Jewish people. He explained to me with great insistence that every question possessed a power that did not lie in the answer. There are victories of the soul and spirit. Sometimes, even if you lose, you win. I don't want my past to become anyone else's future. I told him that I did not believe that they could burn people in our age, that humanity would never tolerate it. Those who kept silent yesterday will remain silent tomorrow. I believe it important to emphasize how strongly I feel that books, just like people, have a destiny. Some invite sorrow, others joy, some both. Ultimately, the only power to which man should aspire is that which he exercises over himself. Life belongs to man, but the meaning of life is beyond him.